So you heard me saying lettuce, all right? So in the Philippines, they would say lettuce, okay? D. That's why I say lettuce, lettuce. It should have a puff of air like this. Carrot, just like the country of Canada. It's dripping, okay? Dripping. So if I would measure this, all right? Measure with a Z sound. Measure 2, 3, right? 3, not tree. Tree is a United States of America. They pronounce exact like this. Tomato, tomato. In the Philippines, watermelon. In British, watermelon. Hello everyone, this is Juan from the Philippines, and this is my first time teaching you a real English. And today you are going to learn more than 50 words and phrases about my yard. And actually we are in one yard as well. And let's get started learning things from my yard. So I'm now entering this garden, and I have a gate here made of wood, and also the fence here is made of wood. So here's the fence. It is basically a piece of logs, and I built this wooden fence because I want my animals like chicken, dogs, and goats to be prevented or keeping from entering in this garden of mine. So this wooden fence is very handy, okay? And what do you think? Is it strong enough? I think so. So what I'm doing right now is I'm watering the plants, and this plant is lettuce actually, okay? So they are being hanged in the fence. Hanged means they are suspended in this wire fence, and they are basically grown just like this. And I'm using, well, this container is called deeper to hold the water. All right. It's dripping, okay? Dripping. And this styrofoam container holds the seedling inside of this. And I think this seedling is overdue right now. It's no longer to be transplanted, but some of these seedlings have been transplanted in this container. And this container is what we call instant noodle container. So there are a bunch of lettuce here. All right. So actually this lettuce will be transplanted again into another container or in a plot. Okay. So the lettuce in this container or in this smaller pot will be transplanted also in the bigger pot. Okay, so they can grow fully. So you heard me saying lettuce, all right? So in the Philippines, most of the Filipino people tend to say lettuce, okay? So we cannot blame the Filipino. It's our local term, lettuce. But in English, in a real English, they would say lettuce. Lettuce, right? The sound of T, but in American pronunciation, the T become D. That's why I say lettuce. It's up to you how to say that. Lettuce or lettuce. So when I harvest this lettuce, I cut this out, the portion of the roots, because it has sap, okay? This white substance or something white that is coming out of this, this part of the plant. I do this because I am removing the sap out of the plant, okay? Can you see this, huh? There are a lot of sap or resin. This is bitter in taste. Actually, this lettuce is Lola Rosa. What we call this as Lola Rosa. But there are other kinds of lettuce like romaine that I have harvested before last year, and I think that is more crisp or crisper. If this is crisp, the romaine is more crisp. Okay, let's try eating this. This is the sound of crisp, crisp. Huh? Mmm. Very sweet as well. And we are right now in the plot of cabbage. All right. So when we harvest this cabbage, okay, there's a head already. Okay, it's full grown. We have to pull this from the ground. All right, there we go. Okay, so we need again a knife. This is a larger knife. Actually, we have two knives, so it's plural now. A smaller knife, a larger knife, and these are two knives. Okay, with a V sound at the ending. Two knives, knives. Okay, so we have to cut this out again. All right, that's it. And what we are taking here is only the head. Okay. All right, this is now the product. So the container I'm using is what we call the basin, okay? Basin out of aluminum or aluminum. Stainless, what we call in the Philippines. Stainless basin. And now I'm the section of the root crops in my garden. So this is something that we use in sauteing food. So I have here some bunch of garlic and of course onion. I said onion even though it started with the vowels of O. In real English it is said That's why I called onion. Onion. But you can say onion. It's alright. Onion, onion. Okay, let's harvest more onion here. Alright. Actually, my real onion plants are there. There are lots of onions that are being planted there in the other side of my garden. So here's another root crop, the garlic. Okay, so the sound of garlic, when you say this, it sounds like the word car, R. Okay, that's why I say garlic, garlic. Okay, let's now pick some garlic. All right. I don't know what happened to my garlic. Small, okay? I'm not a garlic producer. I'm not a garlic farmer, actually. Okay, I just tried it. All right, another. Okay, two, and three. Okay, let's count it. 1, 2, 3. Right? 3, not 3. They're different, right? They are 3 and there is a tree behind me, or there are trees behind me. So what I'm taking now in this garden is the tops of the kamote. Okay, in the Philippines this is called kamote, in English sweet potato. And this is what I have harvested, tops of the sweet potato. All right. Potato. Kamote na lang in Filipino. Nagtagalog ako. I'm taking out the weeds. This is something that you don't want to be seen in your garden. So weeds are basically grass. And actually this is the most annoying part of my gardening. Taking out of the weeds, okay? All right. Okay, I can use this hand trowel. All right, to make this job easier. All right, weeds basically as grass. This plot is planted with carrots. Okay, carrots here are young, they're not fully grown, they cannot be harvested yet. When you pronounce the carrots, so the K should be enunciated very well. It should have a puff of air like this. Carrot, okay? Just like the country of Canada. Canada. Carrot, carrot. Okay? Still a lot of weeds here. All right. This is annoying, very annoying to see lots of weeds in your plot, garden plot. Weeds, weeds. These are all crazy. Weeds are crazy in our garden plot. Mhm.
Every day I walk the floor and think of you.
So here we go in the larger garden, and there are a bunch of vegetable and fruits as well here. We are taking watermelon here, tomato, and Chinese cabbage. So let's get started. All right. Actually, just yesterday, I harvested a giant Chinese cabbage, and this is also giant. Do you believe it? Giant. This is so large, huge, gigantic. No, just giant. I would say giant. Today, I'm gonna pick a very large or real giant Chinese cabbage right here. All right, let's get started. Oh, I'm excited. Oh my God. For real, giant Chinese cabbage. And also today, we are gonna make kimchi at last out of this giant cabbage, and we're gonna pick some more. All right, here they are. So if I would measure this, all right, measure with a Z sound, measure, okay? So it has a height of, from its base right here up to the top of the leaf, I think this is 24 inches, all right? That's why I can call this as giant Chinese cabbage. All right, what are we waiting for? Let's take out the dirt out from the roots. Okay, all right. Okay, I'm waiting again. This plot of lettuce, a batch of lettuce, another batch. Okay, batch, B-A-T-C-H, batch. And in this plot, I have here a young bell pepper, plant of bell pepper, and there are actually 3 fruits of bell peppers, right? And in my back, there are also onions here, onion. But actually, I have here 3 plots of onion, and there's the smaller, and there are the other. And this is what I'm saying in this plot of onion that are full grown and they are fully matured, and in a few days they will have harvested. And if you can see, they are now protrude from the dirt, all right? You see it? And the onion is as big as my fist. Am I telling the truth? Okay, smaller than this, all right? So, but I'm hoping this will be, will become even bigger. I hope so. And this is now one of my favorite activity in my garden, gathering of tomatoes, all right? Here in the Philippines, Filipinos tend to say tomato, all right? Tomato. But in other countries like United States of America, they would say, or they pronounce exact like this, tomato, tomato. So the T at the ending part of the toe become dough, D, tomato. But my friend in the United Kingdom, she's a British, she taught me to pronounce this as tomato, tomato, okay? Very enunciated, the T, tomato. But here in the Philippines, tomato. Well, that's our version. Alam ba sa ganang trip? Tomato, Pilipinas. Why is fruit called as watermelon? Because it has lots of water inside of this fruit, okay? Water, 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 okay? It's up to you. In the Philippines, watermelon. In British, watermelon. It's terrible pronunciation. Okay? Watermelon. In American English, watermelon. Watermelon. But I'm sorry to say, I'm not harvesting watermelon today because they're not fully ripe. Okay? It needs 1 week more. But I think this is big enough. Okay? But I think 1 more week to be, to be taken out or to be harvested. Let's wait for it. Okay? So makinis, so smooth. Smooth or smooth? Smooth. Okay. It has wax actually. When I wrap this, okay, it becomes shinier. Okay. And this fruit is called guava. And before we end, let's taste this. Okay, taste or even eat. Okay, let's eat this. Very juicy. Okay, let me show you the juice. If I can squeeze this up. All right, so that is the juice dripping off. All right, there you have it. I hope you learned many things on my yard. And before we wrap up, I'm doing one more thing, okay? So before that, I'm closing the gate, all right? And we are taking something. I know, I've changed my mind, okay? So we are harvesting now the watermelon. Okay, okay. Watermelon, watermelon, watermelon. I'm the Philippines, watermelon. Here's another. All right. 2 watermelons. Bye. Subscribe to my channel.